Hello there. I'm going to talk about pension freedoms for about 5 minutes. A very important subject, particularly if you're coming up to retirement. Freedoms are both an opportunity and, to a certain extent, a hazard in case you possibly make some wrong decisions about your pension money. They apply to people 55 and over who have been saving or are in what they call a defined contribution scheme, a DC scheme for short. That's a scheme where typically you pay in a monthly contribution, hopefully matched by your employer, and you build up a pension pot to use at your retirement. Not to be confused in any way with final salary schemes, which are reckoned to be the gold standard for pension schemes, with a very good pension payment normally resulting. It is possible to access pension freedoms from a final salary scheme, but that really would be a huge step to take, because you would be effectively giving up a very, very good pension payment linked to your final salary. If you were thinking about that, then you would need to speak to an independent financial advisor, IFA, who would research the whole subject with you and you could come to a conclusion. But assuming you have a DC scheme where you have built up a pension pot, you can access pension freedoms. Now, you have many options. You do not now have to annuitise, which used to be the case. That was simply buy an annuity which paid you an annuity or pension for life. Some people might still prefer to do that, and that is still an option, but you do not have to annuitise. You do not have to, of course, stop work or retire. You might feel that you prefer to carry on working, saving, building up a bigger pension pot, which obviously will give you more money to consider at a later date. What I do suggest is that you look at the government website, which is www.pensionwise.gov.uk. That is a very good website, and it gives you lots of information, which essentially is guidance, not advice. You could look at my website, which is www.pensionfreedomsguidance.com, and again, you might find that of interest. It is essentially guidance, not advice, as is this video. Maybe at this point I would quickly give a simple explanation of the difference between guidance and advice. Guidance really paints a picture of what you could do, whereas advice will effectively tell you what you should do, and that would be a specific course of action from advice, which would be given to you by an IFA. The guidance is broader and gives you a picture of all the different things you need to consider. So by all means, you can contact me. Happy to talk to you. You can email me on my website. You'll find the contact information. Personal pension freedoms have proved very popular, with over, I think, 100,000 people accessing all of their money via pension freedoms. Well, that may well be fine for them, and that's their choice, but be very careful about that, because there would be tax implications according to how much money you took and how you phased it. So there are many things you do have to be careful of, and to be careful of them you have to be aware of them, obviously. So have a look at the government website, have a look at my website, contact me by all means, and I do hope you have found this video useful and helpful, and hopefully you can move forward and be more aware of where you're going.